All right, let's stand together. You know, God is great, and His grace is immeasurable. That's what we're going to celebrate today. Water you turned into wine, opened the eyes of the blind. No one like you, none like you. Into the darkness you shine, out of the ashes we rise. No one like you, none like you. Our God is greater, our God is stronger. God, you are higher than any other. Our God is healer, awesome in power. Our God, our God. Into the darkness you shine, out of the ashes we rise. No one like you, none like you. Our God is greater, our God is stronger. God, you are higher than any other. Our God is healer, awesome in power. Our God, our God, our God is greater, our God is stronger. God, you are higher than any other. Our God is healer, awesome in power. Our God, our God. And if our God is for us, then who could ever stop us? And if our God is with us, then what could stand against? And if our God is for us, then who could ever stop us? And if our God is with us, then what could stand against? Stand Oh, our God is greater, our God is stronger. God, you are higher than any other. Our God is healer, awesome in power. Our God, yeah. Our God is greater, our God is stronger. God, you are higher than any other. Our God is healer, awesome in power. Our God, our God. And if our God is for us, then who could ever stop us? And if our God is with us, then what can stand against? And if our God is for us, then who could ever stop us? And if our God is with us, then what can stand against? What can stand against? Amen. What could stand against us when God is for us? Amen. Why don't you greet those who are next to you? Tell them hello, you're glad they're here.
us, a great standard is to be gracious and kind to one another. What grace is not based upon, we need to see this. There is nothing that the recipient can think or say or do to merit grace. It's not about the recipient here. There's nothing they can do to get grace. Grace is not based on performance, beauty, finances, grades, status, connections, or anything else. It's based on the giver. Grace has everything to do with the heart and the will of the giver in being kind. Grace searches for a place to show kindness and to keep promises. And that's what I think, with you as parents or grandparents, what promises have you made to your children or your grandchildren? Do you promise them, well, we're going to go fishing, or we're going to go get an ice cream, or we're going to, I don't know what you promise. Have you fulfilled those promises? Because I will almost guarantee you that the kids or the grandkids remember that promise. And they're still waiting. They're waiting to see, are you going to be gracious here? Are you going to fulfill your promises? And someone who's gracious does practice this kindness ongoing. And they look where they can keep their promises. I know we had a team that just went up to Canada again to do projects up north. And they accomplished a lot. Hopefully we can get some pictures of this soon. But there was kindness that was given to this organization and the people that are part of that. What a great thing to do. I think we should look for places where we can be kind and gracious and loving to other people. That's what grace is about. The second truth, not only is grace undeserved, it's also unconditional. We don't put conditions on it. And there are things that people say and do, and you may have heard others say it. You have never said any of these words, but others may have in your presence. Just think about it. And these are grace killers that they just suck the living daylights out of grace. Something has happened, and there's an award given out, and someone says, no, actually, it was my idea, and I deserve this award, rather than saying, congratulations. People say, I don't get mad, I get, ooh, that came pretty natural, huh? Well, why is that? I don't get mad, because that's non-Christian. We don't want to do that. I just get even. Well, oh, boy, that is not grace at all. Think about it. I don't get mad, I get even. So some night when you aren't knowing about it, you're going to get it. That's not grace. That's revenge. I will never forgive you for blank. Those are usually harsh words said in anger, and I will never forgive you for whatever. Wow, I'm thinking about that. Just think if God said that to you. I won't ever forgive you for this. But God does. Way beyond our ability. I am right and you're wrong. There are certain types of people who have more tendencies to do this, but they're right and everyone else is wrong. Everyone. Or they have the better or best or typically only way. I'm very cautious about that because you can't make it on their list, is really what it is. Great example of that, of course, in our American culture is the issue with the Hatfields and the McCoys. We joke about that. They're just feuding couples down in Kentucky, Tennessee area. Well, there's a lot that is written on this now, but here's some of the details that I thought were interesting. Over a period of 12 years, there were killings, animosity, retaliation, and legal wranglings with the Hatfields and the McCoys. There was generations of bad will. During that time frame, 12 lives were lost, including 2 children, in doing revenge here between one another. The original offense was one guy said that the other guy stole his pig. Write that down. He stole his hog. Out of all that, that's what the issue was. I'm thinking, and you're going to kill people for that? In fact, there was the legal wrangling went all the way to the Supreme Court, and there was a ruling on that. With the Hatfields and McCoys. And just think of the inner family squabbles that are out there. If we put that up on the screen, how would that go? You know, if we had what was going on in your families or families that you know, how good would that be? That wouldn't be good. Why? Where's the grace then? See, there's no grace there. How is grace given? Grace is given because someone else paid for my price. That's what grace is all about. Grace is received and given in an atmosphere of humility where people are genuinely caring for one another. There's a humbleness, not pride, when grace is given. And it's always more abundant than what the problem was. Grace is super abundant. How's your grace giving? So grace is undeserved, it's unconditional, it's also unbelievable. Let's read on here in 2 Samuel 9. Verse 6. When Mephibosheth, son of Jonathan, the son of Saul, came to David, he bowed down to pay him honor. David said, Mephibosheth. Your servant, he replied. Don't be afraid, David said to him. Mostly because he was from the previous ruling family, there's fear, typically. David says, don't be afraid, for I will show you kindness for the sake of your father Jonathan. I will restore you to all the land that belonged to your grandfather, King Saul, and you will always eat at my table. I wonder, if he was standing there as a young man now crippled, and I wondered what he thought when the King David was talking to him. Like, is this possible? Is this true? Is this real? Verse 8, Mephibosheth bowed down and said, what is your servant that you should notice a dead dog like me? So did Mephibosheth bring anything to the table here? No. He even knew it. He said, I bring nothing. Verse 9, then the king summoned Ziba, Saul's servant, and said to him, I have given your master's grandson everything that belonged to Saul and his family. You and your sons and your servants are to farm the land for him and bring in the crops, so that the master's grandson may be provided for. And Mephibosheth, the grandson of your master, will always eat at my table. Now Ziba had 15 sons and 20 servants. So there was 35 people now that were going to be servants to this young man. And David the king was orchestrating all that. Why? Did he bring anything to it? No. He was just a crippled young man. But he happened to be the son of his best friend, whom he had made promises for. Verse 11. Now Ziba said to the king, your servant will do whatever my lord the king commands his servant to do. So Mephibosheth ate at David's table like one of his king's sons. Mephibosheth had a young man named Micah, and all the members of Ziba's household were servants of Mephibosheth, and they always ate at the king's table. Now, isn't that unbelievable? I mean, David was just super gracious and generous to him. And I guess the thing that I want to walk away with is he didn't deserve any of it. There's nothing he had done or who he was other than David had made a promise to his dad. So the question is, what about the impact of grace for you? It has immediate and lasting results. Grace restores broken relationships. I don't know about you. I don't know if you have some relationship. Could be someone at work. Could be someone in your family. Could be a neighbor. I don't know what it is. But maybe you need to apply some grace here, just like David did to this young man. And look for a place where you can apply grace. Not because the other person deserves it, not because they've said something nice. It's because you have chosen to give them grace. So my question is, to whom will you bestow grace this week? Not if, but who? Who are you going to give grace to this week? One more verse that I just have to turn to. Turn to Ephesians 2. And if you're in your Bible at all, you know where I'm going. You have to go here because it makes so much sense. Ephesians 2, 8, 9. For it is by grace you have been saved through faith. And it is not of yourselves. It is the gift of God, not by works, so that no one can boast. Does this not add light to what this means? God looks down at us and sees us as we are. We don't deserve anything. We can't say anything, do anything, think anything to merit grace. But he looks down on us and says, I died for the sins of the world, including you and me. And I will bestow grace upon you because I want to. I choose to. For by grace you are saved. By grace through faith. Faith is the mechanism to take this grace and apply it to your life. For by grace you are saved. And that not of yourselves. It's a gift of God. So that you can't boast. Why? Because that's what grace is. And I want you to walk out of here saying, it's by grace I have been saved. Who am I going to share the grace God has given me so abundantly? Where can I share some grace? Rather than revenge, rather than outwitting someone, rather than whatever, where can I show grace and actually show Jesus? You know, we sang some songs earlier about I will not fear when the river rises and when all these other things happen. And I'm a weather geek. I love to watch weather. And I see these tornadoes come through, and there is nothing left. And it says, I don't have to be fearful in the midst of that because God has given me grace.
Wow, what a powerful message. Couldn't help but continue to think that in that story, we are Mephibosheth. The only reason that David showed grace is because he was Jonathan's son. It was the only thing. And he had nothing. It's just like us. We had nothing. We come to Jesus. We come to God and believe, and that makes us his son. And therefore, that reason only, he gives us grace. We had done a song at Offering called One True God. It's a new song by Stephen Curtis Chapman that I'd like us to share together. So let's stand together and worship. One voice in the dark, a song that lights up the stars, one breath that gives life, one sovereign in power, who speaks with thunder and fire, one Lord, one King. There is no other that can compare to you. You are the one alone in greatness, the one who never changes. Jesus, you are the one who rose in power, the one who reigns forever. Jesus, the one true God. One man on a cross and one light of the world, One name, one word, one way to be saved. One lamb that was slain. One love above all. There is no other that can compare to you. You are the one alone in greatness, the one who never changes. Jesus, you are the one who rose in power, the one who reigns forever. Jesus, the one true God. You're the one true God. And we've seen the glory of the one and only Son of God. We have seen the glory of the one and only Son of God. We have seen the glory of the one and only Son of God. We have seen the glory of the one and only Son of God. You are the one alone in greatness, the one who never changes. Jesus, you are the one alone in greatness, the one who never changes. Jesus, you are the one who rose in power, the one who reigns forever. Jesus, the one true God. You're the one true God. You're the one true God. You're the one true God. Amen. Go in grace this week and show grace. Amen. You are dismissed.